favorite scary movie.
I love our opening titles. They're the best things we've ever done. I just think they're hilarious. Some of the faces are so good, and some of them are just so bad. Poor
Like,
Jamie Lee.
It was
I
all
love-
made in like some random app. Yeah.
I love
You
them
know.
so much too, but I feel like we have to update it a little bit.
Look, well,
Just for funsies.
we need to change the movies up a little bit. But hi, guys! It's been a hot minute since we've been all together. We've been
I
doing
know.
little solo spin-off shows and little reviews and stuff like that. But we're
Lou,
live as well. We are live.
You
live,
missed Talk to Me, which was so good.
It was a very good review. Very good show. Very good review. But we're live and we're here for Uncensored Horror this week. It's very exciting. Dogsy, you're here. Hello. I didn't know didn't know if you tuned into Uncensored Horror, but welcome, my friend. Welcome. So we thought we would. It's the spooky season, and the season that we kind of began this show for, really. So we thought we would jump in and talk about what's coming up, what the offerings are this October, because it was a little bit hairy scary as to what was coming out, because the release schedule was looking kind of bare. But luckily the horror goods have shined down upon us and started early with The Nun 2 and Saw 10.
Yeah, that's in theaters here right now. Didn't know if I
doing
wanted to say
big-
cinemas or theaters then. Cinemas.
Bit of both,
Okay.
but they're both doing big budget, big dollars. I think that everyone's ready. I think it turns mid-September, Katie, and it's like mid-September. I know when I was over in the States, the pumpkin spice was taking hold, and autumn was afoot. Even though I was in Las Vegas, it was hot as a crutch. But
So we're up to Saw X though, like this is part 10. I've just never really understood, was there always a huge market for these movies? Or like
obviously,
it's like a car crash movie, like isn't it one of those ones you go to be like, oh, will I make it?
So
I don't know.
let me address one at a time. Okay. So pumpkin spice has its death grip on me. I have pumpkin spice bagels, pumpkin spice cream cheese, pumpkin spice creamer. But as we all know,
Ooh, creamer.
I am the basic of the bitches, the most basic. I have my great pumpkin shirt on.
I was about to say you're kind of pumpkin spice today. I like it.
If I was a spice girl, I'd be pumpkin spice. Let's just throw it out there. However, the weather here in central New York is in the 80s, so not very pumpkin spice.
No, not yet.
It was, and then it went back up, and it's supposed to go back down.
It's all that global warming, but that's for another show.
That's it. Yeah, we don't get outraged that much here, but yeah.
I'll leave the outrage to Vera. She does it much better.
It does. You want to check out some outrage? Check out last week's live show. Whoa!
Yeah, Vera's pulling pins out of grenades and just rolling them at all of us.
Things got very intense last week. But we're not here to talk about scary Vera. We're here to talk about scary movies.
Well, I asked about Saw X.
You,
like,
V.
do you think
You are
they
my
have these
hero.
audiences there? Like, I don't know.
Okay, so
it does.
back to the Saw movies, which V would never watch.
I'm not really a fan.
Let's see. So they are. I don't even think they have much steam anymore here. I mean,
this one does. I think this one has kind of reignited because they've gone back to the original, like they always want. Anytime a franchise goes back to the well, there's success. Like it has Tobin Bell and it has Shawnee Smith in it, the two characters that people really want to see. It's not that last movie that was with Chris Rock that was the spin-off prequel weirdness.
I have started and restarted that movie 100. I want to like it so much because everyone said Chris Rock was so good in it, and I want to like it just because everyone said his performance was spectacular. And I can't get into it. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sure you were really
the most entertaining I found Eddie Saw film was when we went and saw part 4, I think, and it opens with an autopsy, and my sister just started dry reaching and having like an attack in the chair next to me. It was hilarious. So thank you for making that film, bringing that enjoyment to me.
So many.
I never got past 2. I have some of them on DVD actually, but I never got past watching 2. 2's the Needle Pit. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of them. No, I think I stopped when oh god, I can't remember which one it was, but she died a pretty brutal death. She got burned alive.
Oh, that doesn't sound like a Saw movie.
Well, her husband was a piece of trash, and she died because he couldn't get out of his trap fast enough or something like that, or maybe he just wanted her to, like, he wanted to save himself or something like that. And I just thought it was bullshit because she didn't deserve to die, and I just don't remember. But I just kind of thought it was like totally against what the whole like trap is about. Like, innocent people are supposed to live and the guilty people are supposed to die. And I think that's kind of was like, whatever, you're kind of going against your whole thing now. The causality is kind of out the window. So I'm done.
My friends, look.
Are you saying Saw's not consistent?
I have some box office for you. I have some box office news.
Yes,
Saw X was made on a budget of $13 million.
Mm-hmm.
At the moment, it's reached $31.2 million.
I mean, you guys know how I feel about franchises.
It's tripled its budget.
I just want something new.
Well.
So Saw 11's probably in greenlit already, you know.
They're
Pamela Anderson's probably in it already.
They're probably mid-production. I'm so sick of franchises. I really am. Even the ones I love, I'm sick of.
Well, there's not a lot going on. It's kind of a really weird time, especially, you know, with the SAG-AFTRA strike and all that kind of thing. It's a really weird time for us to, you know, especially Halloween usually has some big tentpole movies. There is one that we're going to talk about today, which I think is probably going to be the biggest movie of this Halloween. We watched the biggest movie of last Halloween last year when we were all together when we watched Halloween Ends, for better or worse. If you want to check out our review, just jump onto our jump onto one of our platforms, probably YouTube. YouTube's the best place to find it.
If you want to see me really pissed off about a movie.
We need to actually update our list. We need to update our lists and stuff on that. We need to do some
YouTube really do, because we've just been using it as an archive. But whoops.
But yeah, should we get into talking about what's on offer this Halloween?
Absolutely.
Sure. Let's do it.
Please do, Steve.
So as I said, roll the credits and so yeah, as I was saying, the biggest offering I think is, without a doubt, The Exorcist.
That's out right now as well, isn't it?
It comes out tomorrow here in the
Australias.
So
in the Australias,
Steve made me a believer out of this one because I originally kind of said no. I'm sick of this shit. I'm so sick of it.
Well, I'm only interested that Ellen Burstyn is reprising her role as Regan's mom.
Yes. Now, here's the thing. He got me to watch the trailer because initially I threw a fit and said, no, I'm not going to watch this. I'm sick of it. I don't want to do it. And, you know, we've got the gentleman who played Aaron Burr in Hamilton. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. I think he's a spectacular actor, even though I can't remember his name.
Yeah, him.
The trailer is genuinely kind of creepy.
Leslie Odom Jr.
Thank you. We also started our little conspiracies here that perhaps.
I have a big theory, but I don't want to spoil it yet. I don't want to mention that Katie and I have had off-air talk when we were talking about Talk to Me. It's very well known that this is the same production group that brought us the latest Halloween trilogy. They had intents and purposes when this was announced that this would be a trilogy as well. So I think there is one quite obvious name that is not on the cast list that has been spotted on set, around the set.
Oh, will her name be Linda?
I think this is going to be all roads lead to Linda Blair. Kind of like
Linda? You
kind of like the most recent Star Wars did with Luke Skywalker. I feel like she's going to be the hovering threat in the background, or we're gonna get there eventually. I think no matter what happens with this movie, it's gonna make box office because it's a sequel to what people call, and has been known for the longest time, the scariest movie. Hey, Daniela, the scariest movie in history, and you can agree with that or not agree with that. That's totally up to you. But The Exorcist is, I think, horror homework that anyone who enjoys the genre has to see. It was the movie that kind of really got me into it. I've told this story a few times, but I was being babysat by my sister and I would not sleep. And then she got tired and went, all right, I'm going to bed. Put a VHS. There we go. This is how old I am. Put a VHS into the player and said, watch this. And walked away. And that was The Exorcist.
What a babysitting movie.
I have very fond memories of
this
it.
movie story. I got my friend to watch this movie while we had a sleepover. She didn't sleep in her bed for a month minimum. She would not go in there. And we were teenagers at the time. She wouldn't do it because of this movie.
Wake.
I
actually, when I first saw this film, it was when I was working at a video store, so that's how old I am. And I took it over. Look, it's definitely, I really enjoy older horror films because they're very story driven and the slow burns there, and you've got that sense of dread happening. And this film really nailed that whole atmosphere of just something awful's going on. And I think as we've now gotten into this modern era of films, everything's just so on jump scares and, gore and all of this stuff, where it's missing just the storytelling elements that these old films really
oh my God.
hone on to. So I hope that this new Exorcist film is very much in the spirit of the original, and that it's very story driven and not just all gimmicks. And
Daniela, I can't believe you've never seen this film.
I can't believe she's one of my Newcastle Ghost Tour fam, and I can't believe she's never seen this film.
It'll keep you up for days.
I have a weird association with it that every time I watch it, something weird happens afterwards.
Because the film itself is cursed.
Watch Cursed Films. It's a great documentary series if you have never watched Cursed Films. I'm not sure where you'd see it in Australia, but it's available. It's available. But
it's so good. It's so good. And all I'm gonna say is Spider Walk.
Yeah, well, depending on what version you watch, that's the whole thing. That's the hard thing about The Exorcist.
The one I saw had the Spider Walk because it was the re-release or whatever, the remaster. Remember they re-released it in the theaters and then
Hold on.
Yeah.
Daniela, you are a ghost tour person and you don't do horror films? The math and
Daniela, I'm sensing some cognitive dissonance here, my dear.
we prefer our spooks in the real life too,
gotcha.
But it'll be very interesting. As Luke said, it's a huge get that they were able to get Ellen Burstyn back to
Well,
portray.
I don't think she'd sign on unless she felt that it was a worthy sequel. Because she doesn't need to now. She doesn't want to work, really, I'm sure.
Doesn't. It leads so much, pathos and, faith to the movie that the star of the original, despite all of the other sequels and prequels and stuff that this movie has had, and there have been some, we're not, no one's overlooking it. You know,
No.
no one's overlooking the fact that there have been sequels, there have been prequels, there have been TV series, they've done all of this, but you know, she's back and she's given it her seal of approval, I guess, when she didn't have to. Yeah. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. We might have to check it out and see what happens.
To run out to a screening of it.
Have to run out to a screening and see what we can do sometime in this month that is horrible, this horrible month of October that we love to ingest all the things and really get into it. But did you hear? So the movie's been pushed forward.
And
it was originally meant for release on the 13th of October. Do you know what has The Exorcist running scared?
Friggin' Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift is releasing her concert film on the 13th. So The Exorcist, all the powers of Satan have decided we're not even going to fuck with Tay-Tay. We're gone. The Swifties are too scary.
She's my worst nightmare, so I get it. What's the one with the girl in the well that was trapped? That's The Ring. That's The Ring.
That's the Ring.
It's in the well.
Or Ringu.
Ringu, depending on what version you've done.
Depending on whether you're going with the Japanese or the American version.
Or the Australian
Look at us
actress
getting all
version.
nerded out.
Naomi Watts.
Look, I think that there's a pity they never did a third sequel to that. I think that there's reason enough, but you never know. With things the way they are, with legacy sequels that were still going strong, I mean...
Well, let's just let the strike end first, mate. Don't get carried away.
Everyone's doing
no one's blaming you. Just Japanese. The Ring was an American remake of the Japanese film. That's the only reason I said that.
Yeah, it's all. So we're gonna kind of leave. Oh, we're not leaving the box office alone, but we're kind of moving on to a movie that I think might be a bit of a surprise hit because of the demographic that this one reaches is pretty wide. And this movie kind of came out of nowhere and has been made and is ready and is going to go. I hope we're all ready to spend 5 nights at Freddy's.
Grayson was
look, I'm not sure how this is going to go.
He is so
I'm intrigued.
Excited about this. He actually asked if he could join us to talk about
Yeah, he wants to do a review.
Actually, my daughter knows about 5 Nights at Freddy's as well. So it's out there. It's advertised. So kids know.
He plays
It sits in that really interesting area, like another property we're going to talk about in a little bit, that it's like a jumping in point for the kids to get into scary, to get into horror in a safe way. Like the game still is, I guess, super popular.
Yeah, it's still pretty popular. It's scary too, man. I played this game when Grayson was still first getting into it. It scared the crap out of me. These jump scares are legit. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so Dogsy said here, the game scared the hell out of me when I was younger. It gets less scary when you know how was it Hellfire Missile works. So I've never played the game, so
I was not ready for it. I was not ready for that thing. I mean, those freaking animatronics came at me, and I was just not ready. I was not okay.
It's a very.
Katie would have been snuggling on the nugget couch like no tomorrow.
They're doing the
we
whole.
Got rid of the nugget couch.
Sorry. The nugget couch is gone. Don't you remember? I remember we had this conversation. The nugget couch is gone.
I'll never let the nugget couch go.
Gone, but it's gone. Sorry, babe.
So our it has a horror icon in it. Well, for our generation, a horror icon in it. Matthew Lillard.
Oh God, I forgot he was in it.
Maddie's back on the big screen, and it has I feel like underrated lead actor Josh Hutcherson. I love Josh Hutcherson. I think I just had a bit of a Peter crush from.
Say I could take or leave. I could take or leave him, but Matthew Lillard.
Well, I like Lillard because
Love.
he's very dedicated to his characters. Like, he's done Shaggy as in animation and everything since he done the films, just because he supports doing the character. So I like that about him, and I think he obviously has a passion for his work.
Yes, Dogsy, the lore is terrifying. I went into a hole just kind of reading the lore one night, and there's graphic novels of it that my son has been getting into too, and I just kind of looked through them real quick just to make sure, I'm up and up, because I'm a trash parent, but I try to be a minimal trash parent.
For those that don't know about Five Nights at Freddy's, we'll just do a really quick cap of the premise. So Mike Schmidt, who is Josh Hutcherson, is a troubled security guard who accepts a nighttime job at Freddy. Wow, this is hard to say. Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a once successful but now abandoned family entertainment center, where he discovers its 4 animatronic mascots: Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy.
It sounds like you're going to say Fanny each
Anyone
time.
that's there still after midnight. That's some kind of For people that aren't good with animatronics, I know that's a real fear for some people.
I think
it's a real fear for everyone.
Matthew Lillard is William Afton, I think is his character. There is also, if you're very interested, music based on the games. Yes. My son is also into that.
There's lots of them. So, but I think that's the interesting point. There was a rumor, like a couple of weeks back, that there was a cut that was 3.5 hours long of this movie that they were looking at releasing, because there is so much lore. There's so much lore and everything behind it. But I think that they've...
Yeah, but I don't think we need a Five Nights at Freddy's Lord of the Rings trilogy.
I think they've scaled it back now.
The lore is actually incredibly interesting.
Yeah,
and
I think
scary.
they've scaled it back with the intention of now making extra, franchising it, which will work. If it's got a strong background that's already established, why not?
Luke, look up the Afton family with Five Nights at Freddy. You'll just go down that rabbit hole and.
That's the best.
I'll Alice in Wonderland that one after.
That's what we love about horror movies. It makes me think back to the Blair Witch Project.
Yes.
And the passion and effort that went into creating a whole world of a whole
how
world.
Good was the marketing for that, though? It's very simple. And
but there's books.
Look at all the fan films that spawned. People were all trying to make their own Blair Witch around then. I remember that. Everyone at the camcorder.
Of course, but it set up a universe for that movie to exist in that was questionable. Years later, people are like, wait, was it real? It's okay, but there's Blair Witch tours and all that kind of stuff still. It's something that still resonates today, which I really love when people go to that much effort, and go, all right, it's happening. We're going to create this world for you to play in. And there are, if you look back at the Blair Witch stuff, there are still so many stories to tell in that
Blair
universe.
Witch was 1999, wasn't it?
Yes, and then there was the very underrated sequel. By the way,
I love the sequel.
I love Book of Shadows. I think we all agree. We all love Book of Shadows. So whatever.
So underrated.
I think people expected it to be more of the same, and it was actually just a what you would expect as a film, and that threw people a bit. And I don't know why there was not the acceptance of that then. I'm sure in hindsight now everyone appreciates it more.
I actually didn't mind the new one.
I didn't mind it either. I don't think it was amazing, but for what it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
It scratched the itch.
No one else is saying we're frozen, so it might be your internet connection, Sam. We're going to keep going. It says I've got strong connection, so if we're frozen, we're frozen. But we'll just talk amongst ourselves. The VR game, see, I don't know if I could do that.
Oh, the video game was so cool. Kyle and I downloaded it. Also scared the crap out of me.
Okay, so Dogsy said here, oh, the Blair Witch had a VR game release. I still have a broken VR controller on my desk where I threw it
See,
across the
Dogsy
room.
knows.
So it was that intense, was it?
It was very
Yeah,
intense.
see, I can't do horror VR like that one with the shark and stuff. I think that's just, I don't know what you're trying to put your body through. Like, are you addicted to like cortisol levels going through the roof? I don't know, but I just don't see the appeal. I can't, I've already stressed enough. I don't need that in my life.
Right? I think I'm addicted to being scared of horror video games, because I download them all and I'm just terrified. It's just like throwing the controller across the room. Yes.
It was such a unique, back in that time, it was such a unique thing that I still have respect for it. There is a big call for people that like, oh, I don't think it's scary. And that's your opinion. But when I go into something like Blair Witch Project, I can suspend my disbelief for that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the film too, that what you don't see is what's scary, right? You never see the witch. Like,
why are you going to the movies? If you don't want to like go on the ride of the character, why are you going to a movie?
I mean, that's the most fun part of horror. You want to go in, you want to be scared, you want your heart to race, you want those levels up, you want to be on the edge of your seat.
Not to the level of a VR game, though. See, in a movie, at least I know I'm still safe.
Breaking controllers and breaking TV screens, but like this is the whole reason we like haunted houses, we like haunted hay rides, we like the element of surprise. You know, you don't know what's coming around the corner, you don't know what's behind you. It's fun.
Well, people love that adrenaline rush, don't they?
Yes, it's fun to have an adrenaline rush. And you know, I try to explain to people why I love horror so much. It's because I do like being scared. I do like not knowing what's coming next. And I do, like getting those levels up and getting my heart racing. It's fun. You know, like some people like to get their heart.
Some people do like abusive relationships, whereas like we like horror movies. So, whatever gets you going.
I was going to say some people like trashy novels to get their heart pumping. I like a good slasher. Okay, you want to?
Oh yeah. Hold up, I agree with this one. Alien Isolation.
So what did he say? We've always got to read it for our Spotify listeners.
Dogsy says the worst one was Alien Isolation VR being chased by a Ridley Scott Xenomorph.
Oh,
the whole experience.
Dogsy, I didn't even play it with VR. I just played that game without VR. I just was playing, and it was the add-on with Ripley, and I lasted about 30 seconds, and I went, nope, and I've never booted it up again. I was like, nope.
That Xenomorph showed up, I said, nope.
Nope.
That bitch showed up, I turned it off. Nope.
I did not enjoy the feeling of dread the whole time, and then the jump scare was not a relief. It was like I'm in danger.
Oh, you know what game I've never played after playing it once? The Evil Within or something like that. I think I played it while I was pregnant with either Arlo or Grayson, and they tell you to plug your headphones into the controller, so you're completely immersed. I think it almost put me into labor. I was like, nope.
And was there Evil Within?
I think that's what it was called, the Evil Within.
But was the baby Evil Within from playing the game?
My children, you tell me.
Yes, I was going to say, is this all your fault?
This is all my fault.
Yeah.
But isn't that interesting that that idea of horror transcends medium as well? We have all seen Alien, or part of the Alien franchise, or all of the Alien franchise, so that when it goes into something like a video game that is digestible in a different way, we still get the same results.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, cool. Like Alien is one
I
of
think the game surpassed any tension that the films ever had. Definitely. I mean, they done something pretty great with that game, but it's not for me. Never.
Yeah, I mean, the Xenomorph is still a feminist icon, but fuck her.
Well, technically she's a Disney princess now, so.
Oh, bless.
I want to see
diversity, right? Diversity.
I want to see her.
My best friend bought me a Ripley shirt that's in the Barbie font, and Ripley looks like a Barbie. Ripley. I love it. It's so cute.
Here, Samara's talking about that same shark one, the VR game where you're actually in the tank and the sharks are attacking. It's awful. Like I've actually watched a YouTube video of someone else watching it, and I was like, nope. Nope.
Yeah, no, I don't fuck with sharks. I don't really fuck
Nah.
with sharks.
I don't fuck with sharks.
I don't fuck with sharks. I'm very interested to see how this one will do. They are doing the dual release on Peacock and in cinemas same day, so they know that they will reach their audience somehow.
Oh, Grayson might have just got screwed. Now I don't have to go to the theater.
So here you go. Does that make it worse though? Because when you can go to the theater, you can separate a little bit. You go, okay, that happened at the theater. If you're watching it at home, you're like, okay, I'm going upstairs to bed. That's still in your house. You know what I mean? That's still in your house.
Well,
I imagine they're banking on a lot of kids whose parents don't have like the account locked, so they're just going to buy it straight up.
I like the idea.
It's not even a buyable thing. It's just streaming.
It's just streaming. Well, there you go. They know that the kids are going to be there waiting.
Well, with something like that, like granted, I would like to see it on the big screen, but like you can turn off all the lights in your house. It's completely quiet. You don't have some nerd texting in the front row to ruin the experience. The nerd in the front row, your husband, you could smack him upside the head yourself, you know? Turn that shit off, Kyle. What are you doing?
Yeah, I agree, Dogsy. I still like the ritual of going to a theater for some movies. Like,
and especially if it's a film that you're really looking forward to, it becomes a little bit of an event. Mm-hmm. And and it becomes a lot of fun. Like there was a few times that I've taken the kids to the movies and it's been like an exciting time.
Oh, I don't think he's going to let me get out of this one. I think I'm going to still have to go to the movies and think I could have been watching this at home for free, but still.
That's like I will never not go to a Scream movie in the cinemas.
Oh, absolutely not. There's no excuse.
Go to since there's been Halloween movies that I could go to, I will never not go to a Halloween movie in the cinemas. Like I
would prefer to go to the cinemas because, believe it or not, I've actually not banned those films in the house, but like I'm going to probably parentally lock my accounts now as my child's getting older and knows how to spell stuff like Halloween. So yeah.
Halloween, I'm still a little bitter about the last few Halloween movies, but a Scream movie must be watched in a theater. There's no excuse.
Yeah, with no spoilers. No spoilers.
See, I always go either day of release. I always go day of release.
Here. I love watching movies in my undies. The other patrons in the theater don't.
See, that's the other thing, though. I do enjoy watching movies in comfort. This is true.
Okay, Dogsy. 4D cinemas, though, they just pissed me off to no end. The 3D I can deal with. Yeah, look, I agree. I went in at the Warner Brothers Movie World. They have a 4D cinema for just like they were showing Yogi Bear actually, but you'd be sprayed in the face with water and stuff. I was like, I don't think this is enjoyable. It's a ride. It was more fun, but I wouldn't go to relax to do that.
They've got those seats. They don't really have them here in Australia, but they've got those seats in certain theaters in the US that like shake when stuff on all that kind of stuff. It'd be good to see like your Avatars or your like Transformers or those big explosive movies. Yeah, that'd be great to see in that kind of thing. I remember I saw one of probably more than one of the Resident Evils in 3D. And I was the only person in the cinema.
See, look, we can all agree those films aren't, masterpieces, but I went and saw every one of those in the theaters. So there was something about that. There was an experience of going to the movies to watch this trashy film, and it was fun.
Well, zombies
I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much at home.
But zombies are still pretty fresh. Zombie films like that must be enjoyed in theaters too, though. There's something fun about that. It's just the one regret I have about giving my money to a theater for House of the Dead.
Oh, Katie, why?
Because I loved the video games.
Oh no. Tara Reid.
All right, Steve. Next movie, Steve. So we've just had Five Nights at Freddy's.
Okay, so let's
just pretend that Katie didn't.
We went on a tangent.
No. And Kate, I'm trying to just like cover up Katie's mess.
I'm definitely going to go check this one out because I'm really interested in how that's really interested to see how that one goes.
The 2000s.
I'll stream it.
I'll give them my money. I'm very interested to see what happens with this one. Now, this next one is very, very interesting because it's kind of like Disney has picked up these properties and gone, fuck them kids. And
kids.
let's aim this new TV series squarely at the original audience. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to get goosebumps again?
Yeah.
Okay, so is Goosebumps, is that Justin Long?
This is Justin Long.
Yeah, so this is aimed at us, right? So this is made for us to watch.
This is the nostalgia factor. This is aimed at elder millennials. This
is and it
3
is
boxes
dark.
tick. Boop, boop, boop.
It is dark. If you've watched the trailer, she's dark.
Oh, she's dark.
I don't know that this is intended for children. They obviously
Fear Street wasn't either, though, was it? Fear Street was a kids' young adult book.
Fear Street was young adult. Fear Street did good. Let's try.
Yeah, but the show though I think was more older teen at least.
Yeah,
it was, but they saw what Fear Street did for our market and said, "Hey, let's make some money. Let's do that."
Well, the rights were out there because Fear Street and Goosebumps fell under Sony Pictures. So after Goosebumps and Goosebumps 2, the Jack Black movies, which were pretty popular.
Time out. Dogsy said, I'll be watching it for the first time because the original was before my time.
Yeah, Dogsy's young. Dogsy's a baby.
Dogsy, you can't sit with us.
You
can't sit with us.
Oh, come on, Katie. We're expanding our demographic. Look, he's even on Twitch.
I think it's a good thing that people are discovering, like, I mean, look, if you go to a fashion store these days, the naughties is back in the worst kind of way. I'm like, oh God, why are you doing this to yourself, kids? But
I know. I'm expecting a Supre to open up again here.
But there's something to be said, especially for, and this is we talked about it before, for us now being elder millennials and having the disposable income, we can have what we want now.
Disposable income?
We can really.
What disposable income? Yeah. What world are you in?
Reels into parents and introduces the kids. It's a next generation thing, and that's cool. Yeah. It's a cool
passing
thing
the baton, and they're creating a little experience. Yeah.
I just pulled out my Goosebump books to give to Grayson.
Katie, are you going to terrorize your boys with Goosebumps when it's released?
Oh God, yeah. Like I said,
I'll see if my child will watch it. She may. Sometimes
I pulled out my Goosebumps books to give to Grayson. He has a Goosebumps shirt that he's been wearing to school.
Actually, that's a great idea. I should go and find one of my old Goosebump books and read it with her. There we go. That's nice. That is nice.
This was
the synopsis
my foray into Stephen King.
Yeah. The synopsis is kind of vague, which I like because we don't know what to expect. So after accidentally releasing supernatural forces, 5 teenagers must find a way to work together and recapture them while discovering their parents' secrets from their teenage years. So
that sounds like it could be the premise of like a Power Rangers season.
It's literally, and that's what I love, a multi-generation horror kind of vibe. I love that kind of thing, and I think that's a really interesting way of going because we're obviously going to get a flashback to these parents in the 90s. So we're going to have that vibe that we all came to, like Fear Street, what they did with Fear Street when they set it in the different eras. And that's super, super smart with, appealing to its original audience and going, hey, kids, this is what your parents used to like. And they're obviously going to up it because the trailer is full on. And Justin Long is looking like he is par for the course for his horror characters is all I'm going to say. If you haven't watched some of our reviews, Justin Long is always the unsuspecting, good guy, but then something goes wrong. Yeah, the retro game consoles, exactly.
Aww,
market to grown-ups and then kids, and then they'll hand it down.
But Justin Long also plays such a good bad guy.
Yeah, and looks like he's going to be having that bad guy.
I think it might be because Justin Long might be a pretty good actor. maybe.
Yeah, he's fantastic,
Yeah.
and it's going to be a good vibe. So this one comes out October 13th. So we're kind of
Everything's
falling.
coming out October 13th.
We're kind of falling out. So this has got 10 episodes.
Nice.
Do they
So,
all drop all on the 13th?
Yeah, I think. Oh no, they're going to go week by. Oh, they're doing a first chunk and a second chunk. So for those of us that have been Goosebumps readers, here we go. Episode titles. Episode 1, Say Cheese and Die.
Yes!
Episode 2, The Haunted Mask.
Oh, that one's on my stairs. That one's on my stairs right now.
Episode 3, The Cuckoo Clock of Doom.
So are these all standalone stories, or is there an overarching?
It's going to be it's a TV series. It's an overarching
Shut up,
thing.
Luke. Let him read.
Episode 4,
it could be standalone.
Go Eat Worms.
I hated that one too.
Yeah, Katie, go and eat worms.
Episode 5, Reader Beware. Now, there's a break in transmission here. So those first 5 episodes are all released as one piece. Until we get...
Until we get one of those choose your own adventures.
Well,
where does the second half go?
Used to be the tagline for the books, Reader Beware, you're in for a scare. There is a standalone episode for a week. Night of the Living Dummy.
Ooh,
snappy. I do remember that one.
October 20th. Then a week later, we get Give Yourself Goosebumps.
That was a choose your own adventure.
Yeah. Episode 8. These are all coming out week after week now. They're coming out weekly. You Can't Scare Me. Episode 9. Night of the Living Dummy Part 2. So Slappy's back. And episode 10. Welcome to Horrorland. So there are some very popular titles amongst those ones that are coming out. So that's super exciting for all of us.
I'm a bit excited now. No, that is good. It's nice.
And I like that it's going to bleed through till mid-November. It's like everyone always wants more Halloween, right? They're like, I want more, I want more, I want more, I want more, I want more.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see. I think if it does well, obviously, there's still more books. There's lots of Goosebumps books to adapt.
And you watch, there'll be new books being written now.
Well, the good news is that Netflix haven't completely abandoned Fear Street either. There's still something in development. I mean, if I was Netflix after a reception of those 3 movies, I would have something out every Halloween. But that's just me. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we'll see. But speaking of Netflix, we are now going to move on to something that is definitely not for children. This one is not it. Ladies and gentlemen, the final Mike Flanagan project for Netflix, The Fall of the House of Usher, is coming to screens finally. Now, this one is, as I said, not for kiddies. The premise of this is obviously Edgar Allan Poe stories, and it will be meshed into one story, kind of like what they did with Haunting of Bly Manor and Haunting of Hill House. They're going to kind of make it all one universe, and the downfall of a prominent family. So the synopsis is a CEO of a corrupt pharmaceutical company faces his questionable past when his children start dying in mysterious and brutal ways.
So this has nothing to do with singer Usher at all.
No.
Hey, Rob Zombie, take notes. This is how you cast your wife and do it the right way.
But his wife also happens to be an exceptional actress. Let's be honest.
She's hotter and she is an exceptional actress.
Who's his wife?
I am Kate.
You don't know who his wife is?
No.
What's Kate's last name?
Oh, Kate Siegel.
Kate Siegel.
I hope I'm pronouncing her name right.
Kate Siegel stars in pretty much all of Mike Flanagan stuff. She was in the. Did you ever see the movie Hush, Luke, where she was deaf and there was a serial killer stalking her in the house?
Yeah. I did see it.
Yeah,
Mike Flanagan.
that's Mike
Mike Flanagan has a very hot and sexy relationship, or had a very hot and sexy relationship with Netflix that brought us Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, The Midnight Club, and this is his final offering before he toddles off to, I think, Amazon or somewhere. He's got
I will follow him wherever he goes.
He's developing the Dark Tower next, so he's.
I just want to say this. I didn't hate the original movie. Okay, it wasn't that bad. It lacked, for sure, but it wasn't that bad.
But something that is that voluminous and intricate deserves TV treatment.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm just saying it wasn't as bad as everyone was making it out to be. It wasn't.
So let's just take a quick poll. Have you seen what Mike Flanagan have you seen, Katie? I'm pretty sure you'd have seen everything, right?
Yes, I have seen
all the Netflix stuff anyway.
Well, I loved Hush.
Yeah,
Hush scared the ever living shit out of me. Let's see. I've seen Haunting of,
Hill
I've
House?
seen all this haunting stuff. Yeah, hold on. I've got to see his complete list just to.
Bly Manor.
Hold on, let's see.
Midnight Mass.
Doctor Sleep.
Doctor Sleep.
I like Doctor Sleep. I do like Doctor Sleep.
Before I Wake, I saw Gerald's Game, Oculus.
Yeah. Good stuff.
So I haven't seen a lot of these.
Okay. I'm gonna pronounce this wrong. This I'm gonna blow it. This Absenthia or
Absentia. Yeah.
Yep. I saw that one.
Absentia.
Absentia. Yep.
I have a joke about that.
I can never pronounce that correctly, but I've seen that one. I think the only one I haven't seen is this See Your Evil.
Ooh.
And it sounds like he was just an executive producer.
Yeah. But Luke, you probably need to jump on, especially the Netflix stuff, because it's the thing I like about the Netflix stuff is that it's horror for adults.
My favorite thing, though, that he did was the Midnight Club, though. I really enjoyed
the Midnight Club was cute.
All right, no, I'll give that a go. I feel like I'm missing out a lot. Like the stuff that I've recognised that I've seen, I've enjoyed. So,
and he really services his actors well. Like I've never seen Heather Langenkamp be better than in the Midnight Club. She was amazing in that movie. And you look back at Heather Langenkamp on Nightmare on Elm Street, you're like, oh girl, you. As with
she was a kid. Budget wasn't that great.
She's got some gravitas in that season, and I feel like it's a pity that show never got a final resolution. It had its resolution, but there was meant to be a second season. Like there was always an intention for a second season. I feel like Midnight Mass was a good standalone. Midnight Mass took a little while to get into, though. A lot of people are like, I don't get it. But if you stay with it after like the third episode, you're like, oh shit, then it gets real serious. Mm-hmm. But
he wanted to do so much more with Dr. Sleep. I feel like they just didn't give him they kind of held him by the short and curlies because he wanted to
lost a bit of creative control.
There's always going to be some kind of tussle when it comes to The Shining, Kubrick's movie is the classic, and I watched it on the plane on one of my trips to America, and it still resonates. I got off the plane and checked into my hotel in Vegas. I'm like, long hallway, The Shining. I'm like,
it's still spectacular.
Yeah,
but
King doesn't like that version. King likes the TV movie version. It's like, oh really? There's always going to be
Rebecca De Mornay. Rebecca De Mornay was in that one.
I really enjoyed Dr. Sleep. I can't wait to see what he does with something as dark as Edgar Allan Poe.
Mm-hmm.
with the cast, with his returning cast and exciting additions to the cast. We have Mark Hamill is joining the cast for this. So Luke Skywalker will be part of this, and Mary McDonnell. Anyone? Mary McDonnell?
No. I feel like
Sydney
she from like
Sydney
Sister Act.
Prescott's aunt?
Oh yeah, I know.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, Mary McDonnell. If you have never seen her in Grey's Anatomy, she's spectacular.
Sorry,
in
not
that
a,
show.
not a
I
great
don't
fan.
watch Grey's Anatomy either, but my friends do, and I got stuck watching it one day. So if you're after something a little bit more adult, and again, the trailer for this one is definitely not suitable for children because the children in this one are gonna die, horrible deaths. But they're the four kind of biggest things. I chose 2 cinema releases, 2 TV releases. That's not to say that there's not more stuff coming. In the next week, Totally Killer is going to drop on Amazon Prime, which is a Blumhouse, I believe, and that's got the. It's kind of like Happy Death Day, kind of, and Final Girl. Did you ever see that movie where she goes back in time to try and save her mother?
Yes, loved that.
Yeah,
It has
that's the vibe
Malin
that
Ackerman
movie's giving me.
and what's her name? She's
Yeah.
she's the girls from the Conjuring sister. Can't think of her name.
Theater Famiga.
Yeah, she's very
No
Famiga's
new
sister.
Scream movie this year, Dogsy.
Casa Famiga.
But ladies and gentlemen,
Not a
there is an announcement coming in October. Hot off the hot rumor train is now that everything is settled or settling with the strike. There is an announcement coming this October as to when and where we can expect Scream 7 because it is going ahead. Apparently, we are getting some. Bless you. We're getting
I know. I can't stop.
We're getting some information about what's actually going to happen too, because big rumor is that we're going to London.
Oh boy!
Oh, so we're just going to hop around every continent now, are we?
Which would be very interesting. Well, that's where the girl's mother is. The girl's mother is.
That's true.
So
well, I guess modern era Ghostface can call from anywhere.
Ghostface can be everywhere. Ghostface can be international. So we will hotly anticipate any kind of Ghostface action. I know I will, and to see exactly where this next movie is going to shift, because I can smell a big shift coming in the air for that franchise as to what's happening. But again, that's more conspiracy theories. If you want to check out our Scream 6 review, go back onto the YouTube and check it out. But we are available as an audio podcast too, for anyone that would like to listen to our beautiful voices and check out our stuff. You can check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Blog Talk Radio, TuneIn, or anywhere that good podcasts are found.
And you can rate us on Spotify too, I found out the
Yeah,
other day.
look, do us a favor. Give us a rating on Spotify. Give us a review, because it actually helps us get in front of more people. And I have noticed that people are listening, so that's really cool.
I do have a couple things for you guys before we leave.
Yeah.
Just real quick. Got a couple books for you guys for those nerds that still read.
Books.
From our friend Grady Hendrix. Paperbacks from Hell. If you've seen Mr. Hendrix's Instagram, you'll notice that he had a lot of paperback horror covers. And this book is super, super cool. This examines all the cool trends from the 70s and 80s of horror novels. I'm trying to get into my camera.
Have you read it yet, Katie?
What's that?
Have you read it yet?
I've been reading it. This is my coffee table book.
Oh,
super fun.
Beautiful.
Super, super fun. This one is not as spooky. This one, I would say, is
What's it
Stranger
called,
Things.
Katie?
This one is called The Saturday Night Ghost Club by Craig Davidson. This one, I would say, is a little bit Stranger Things meets Stand By Me. It's set in the 80s in Niagara Falls.
Very cool.
It's kind of fun.
So you're doing a bit of spooky reading over the spooky season, Katie. That's nice.
A little spooky reading. Our little friend Jake Baker has been spending some time with his Uncle Calvin, who is an enthusiast of the occult artifacts. He meets a pair of siblings and he forms the Saturday Night Ghost Club. But this lighthearted club starts to become a little more than they bargained for.
Oh, I might check that out,
Oh.
actually. That's my kind of vibe.
It's a good one. It is a
Check
good
that
one.
out.
My mom has this other book called Hidden Pictures by Jason Rukalak, I think is how you pronounce it. That book has so many goddamn twists and turns, and the creepiest pictures drawn by this little 5-year-old kid. It is about a recovering drug addict who takes a job as a nanny, and
as you do.
This, as you do, and the child starts drawing these really creepy pictures that just become a little more realistic, and she starts to think that maybe the child is possessed by a ghost.
Or maybe she is still under the effects of the drugs.
I don't know that you would go, if you're not good with high pressure situations, why would you go from, cold turkey drug addict to looking after children? That's not
I'm just going to take it easy for a while and look after a small child.
She's been clean for months, and she keeps testing clean, but they think she
must have really wanted to test herself, because you know what? If that's going to drive you to drugs, is looking after a child, I'm sure.
That book has
if you got
so
the predisposition,
like
she clearly has.
I could not put it down. I will post all these books on our page.
Thank you, Katie.
But they're spectacular if you're looking for a real good kind of spooky,
all right,
suspenseful
so hashtag Katie's Nerd Book Club if you want to join.
Nerdy Book Club.
So before we close out, I have to ask, Halloween is an era of tradition, and we have certain things that you do. What in your house or in your in your life, what's your Halloween must do / tradition, Luke?
Oh, look, I like to have a Halloween party, but like last year we were overseas. I think the year before I was selling my house. Something was happening anyway. I couldn't do it. So I would like to, there's some plans to have a haunted house in my garage downstairs. So hopefully that goes ahead. We'll see. It just depends on time, really, if I've got enough time to put the effort in properly. So, yeah, I like to do something and look, every year we've dressed up. So since my daughter was born, there's a photo of us together dressed in a Halloween costume every year.
So what are you dressing up as this year?
I have no idea. Absolutely none.
Loser.
No idea. What about you, Katie? You got kids? What do you like to do for Halloween?
I always watch Rocky Horror Picture Show. Because why not? I mean, obviously. Yep. You always got to watch the original Halloween because obviously
right.
Kids are dressing up as Ghostface because you got to do it right. And Heatwave, who is a Transformer. I am dressing up as Coraline, and I don't know what Kyle's dressing up as. Because he's a loser too.
What about you, Stephen?
Well, see, as a single person, there has to be some kind of Michael Myers.
You cry, don't you, doll?
I get to watch horror movies. I get to watch as many horror movies as I like. So there has to be some kind of Michael Myers. I think this year, because there's time and distance between it, I'm going to go back and watch Halloween Ends. I think I'm going to give it another run.
I watched the opening.
Evil dies tonight.
I watched the opening again, and it's not so bad, but I don't know. I think that there's merit to that movie, but it was just poorly executed. It
was
a different ride to what we thought we were getting on. But anyway, we've talked it to death.
Yeah, well, but you can go back and look. You can go back and look at that review too, and add your 2 cents. I think that there is one non-negotiable for this holiday season, but now there's 2 parts. You have to watch Hocus Pocus, right?
Oh, obviously. Well, Hocus Pocus is a year-round movie in our house, so
Hocus Pocus is my go-to. Like, it makes me feel. Dogsy says I dress up as Post Malone every year because everyone tells me I look like him, except for 2019. I splashed a white painted T-shirt with Eileen written on it.
I know exactly what you mean there, Dogsy, and family-friendly show.
I think it's funny, but there has been there has been a bit of rumbling as well now that the strike is over that Hocus Pocus
3's coming out, and Fran Drescher's going to be like this ultimate queen witch in it.
We'll go into production as a finale cinema release.
Interesting.
Nice.
So it is back in cinemas, selected cinemas at the moment because it's anniversary. So there's more to come from Hocus Pocus as well. I can't imagine Bette Midler and Sarah Jessica Parker and Kathy Najimy not going back, especially if they're going to really throw big money at it and make it a cinema classic. I hope
they're
they
having
do.
fun with it, so then we have fun too. So let's do it.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys have a little bit of stuff to look forward to and stuff to get into for Halloween. We're going to be bringing you different kinds of spooky stuff all through the month. And there's all kinds of other spooky stuff. But the most important thing we need to mention before we leave tonight is that we want your scary
up and down the wall.
Yes. We want your scary stories. So if you ever had something creepy or weird happen to you, a friend or family member, share your story with us either via video, email, or audio and make an appearance on this year's Halloween special. Submissions are going to close October 30th. So if you send your email, just hold on.
Will we also post this as an image?
I'm going to, yep. So I was just to say that. If you're going to go to, you're going to email it to myuncensoredradio, all one word, @gmail.com. And I'm going to put this post up on our social media. We have done it, not last year, but the year before. We collect a few stories from our loving audience. We collect them from our lovely love. It doesn't have to be paranormal.
Does it have to be? No. Does it have to be?
Love.
I will be skipping out on a touring haunted bars.
She's got some.
Yeah. Katie won't be doing a haunted bar this year. That was a COVID special, but it was fun.
You got really scared that time, didn't you, Katie?
Yeah, I was scared because haunted bar, and then COVID exposure.
Katie thought she was. Yeah, Katie thought she was probably going to jail for that one.
Yep.
Good job.
So we want you guys to be part of the show. So if you're interested, please submit. You don't have to.
Expert on a Tinder date. That is pretty good.
Definitely either do a video or an audio or an email. Let us know. We're up for any kind of anything that's creepy because it's the season to do it. Right? There will be a Halloween special coming out on Halloween night in the States. It's the day after in Australia, but who doesn't love a Halloween hangover? But this has been us. It's been good to be back live for a hot minute. We'll see you all again very, very soon. Thank you for tuning in to Uncensored Horror, and thank you for Katie's pussy for just being wild, wild, wild. Until we see you again, my friends, keep it creepy. Bye.
Bye.